Is everybody in? Is everybody in? The show is about to begin.
Welcome to the podcast, concerts that made us, interviews and stories, tales from the bus. We love taking you back to when it all went down, the greatest live shows and that cheering crowd sound. It's concerts that made us, concertsthatmadeus.com.
Hi, this is Crystal from the Almas, and you are watching Concerts That Made Us.
I'm picking up the pieces of my shattered sanity. Wish I could wake up from this nightmare taking over me. It's do or die, do I try my own mortality? I'm reaching out, but no one hears me. Screaming for a lifeline. I feel it in my bones, there's no place left to hide from the darkness. So thin, I'm not giving to all my misery. I can't escape it, must embrace this mess I'm living in. It's do or die, do I try when all I want's the end? I'm reaching out, but no one hears me. Screaming for a lifeline. I feel it in my bones, there's no place left to hide from the darkness in my there's no place left to hide. I'll keep screaming for a lifeline. I feel it in my bones, there's no place left to hide from the darkness in my mind. Hanging by a thread, halfway dead from being alone with the war inside my head. I need a lifeline, line, line, line. I need a lifeline, line, line, line. I need a lifeline, line, line, line. I need a lifeline, line, line, line.
Crystal, you're very welcome to Concerts That Made Us.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's great to have you now. I feel like we've a lot to talk about over the next bit. First off, last month you guys dropped Lifeline. Hell of a song, and the video, oh my God, I don't know what to even say about it. It's unbelievable. Take us deeper into it.
Yes, Lifeline was the very first song that we recorded, that we wrote and recorded in the studio with our new producer, Kyle Odell. And this was the one that we were the most excited to release. So hearing good positive feedback on it, the song as well as the video, means so much to us. It's a song about mental health and knowing that you don't have to fight the battles, that you are struggling alone. You don't have to fight them alone. To reach out for help. And we wanted to take that and make a kind of badass music video for it that's showing that it's not a sappy, sad situation. Sometimes it really is a war that you have to fight, and that it's worth reaching out and getting the help you need.
Definitely, definitely. Where did the idea come from the video? I mean, it makes Top Gun look like a low budget movie almost, you know?
And what's funny is, so that was all Frank, our lead guitarist, the founder of the band, actually. And we, neither him or I, prior to the music video, actually watched Top Gun. We only are well aware of like the famous like walk up scenes and like some of that stuff where he's like holding the helmet and he's looking all cool with the aviators. And so we happened upon a an airplane hangar that had fighter jets in it. And we ended up not being able to use that location because the dates didn't work out. But that's kind of what spun the idea. The first music video we released for the EP was Cage, and we used a lot of water elements. And then the next one was Burnout, and we used a lot of fire elements. But it was still out in like a freezing cold field. And so our music video director asked us if the next video could be some warmer location instead of what the last two were. So by his request, we decided to do it in July, and then we found a military museum that would have us, and we kind of took over the place, and we used their fighter jet. We used their actual helicopter that was used in Vietnam that they have a part of the place. And the cabin's kind of cut off, and so is the back end. So we put tarps up. And mind you, I said it was in July, so that metal tube got very hot.
I can imagine.
So, so he said he's not gonna ask us to change temperatures anymore because it's one drastic change to another. But yeah, we just kind of happened upon what we had for that music video, and it's very DIY. We built up all that we could for the sets, and we had a local hangar that a friend of ours was able to secure for us the literally like 12 hours prior to using it. And so it all kind of just like came together. And it was initially not supposed to be this way, but we were going to use planes regardless, because we wanted to go with like the, from water to fire. And we were like, oh, maybe we'll do something in the air, like skydive or something. And we did not get our license to skydive for the music video, so we did not skydive.
Right, right. Maybe in the future.
Maybe in the future, maybe the next one.
Yeah, yeah. Was there any challenges or maybe memorable moments that happened during production or recording?
Yes, like I said, it was all built by us. And so having to go around town and find different memorabilia pieces to kind of make it look like we're actually a part of XYZ military location or whatever. And we were like, okay, well, let's you find these like pins and the patches. We had to create like the helmet. And so a lot of it was just the behind the scenes work to find the pieces to make it all happen, and kind of like piece it together seamlessly. So that was a lot of fun. We like doing stuff ourselves. If we can, we will. And it just makes it all the better when it turns out great. We know it's because of all the effort that was put into it.
True, true. How has the reaction been since the song dropped? I'm sure people have been blown away by it, have they?
Yeah, a lot of people actually thought Frank was flying the helicopter and the jet. That is our VFX editor's job to make it look that way, and he did it incredibly. So kudos to him for that. But no, it was a great great experience, and we've had incredible feedback for it. And a lot of people were joking with us and we were like, you guys made like a mini movie. And so I'm absolutely loving all the feedback for it.
Right, right. You guys have to enter it into some sort of movie awards ceremony or something and see if
Love
you,
to.
yeah, I'm
I would,
sure it definitely
yeah,
would win.
yeah, we're a part of the Josie Awards again this year, and unfortunately, that one was released after the cutoff, so we'll have to definitely put it in for next year's Josie Awards.
Definitely, definitely. Now, something I'm very excited about is on the 21st of June, you guys are kicking off your US tour, hitting a lot of places up until the 12th of July. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, so our US portion of the Lifeline tour is taking us from Wisconsin and Illinois to Iowa, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. So we're doing like kind of a scrunched, like kind of like a expanded Midwest run for this tour, and so we're really excited. We don't play the Midwest too much. We just got off a tour with Silver Tongue that we kind of did a little more Western portion of the Midwest, but we're excited to be going out to some of these places. Brand new, half of them are to us that we've never been to these venues before, but some are return venues that just feel like home to us.
Yeah, I'd say so. What are you most looking forward to?
Just the new energy and new vibe that we're going to be able to provide to people because we just got a new bus, and Frank and I have been staying over at my parents' place because they've got a bigger parking lot to destroy than we do. So we've been taking the bus over there and staying, and my mom and dad are incredible with their hands. They built their own house and laid their own concrete and did all of that thing. So this is their third bus build that they've done. This is our first, but our second vehicle that we've DIY'd. So we're using their knowledge and their skills mixed with what we've done before, and it's turning out beautifully. So we've got bus instead of a van on tour this time. So between that new bus, we've got a new drummer that's hitting the road with us, and he's just got such a positive and charismatic energy about him. So we're excited to see what our fans, new and established, are going to think of him as well, because he's a really incredible guy and he's so talented, massive talent in this man. But yeah, so between those two things, it feels like a brand new experience to us, even though, like I said, half of these venues we've already played, all of these states we have played before, but it's a whole new energy about it. So that's going to be really refreshing and really nice to go out experience.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds it. And I know I said I was excited about the US tour. Something I'm even more excited about is the UK tour. You guys are coming over this side of the world. The 19th of July it starts. Tell us all the details.
So I don't have too many details other than mostly because I've kind of blocked them out after I heard we are officially playing in the UK. It's our first time being out of the country other than our one festival that we played in Canada. So we're officially going overseas for the first time, and we have our flights booked. We are all ready to go. We've got the first Airbnb that we're doing over there. But we're playing Huddersfield, Cambridge, London at the Troubadour, which is insane to me. We're playing correct me if I'm saying any of these improperly because I am a terrible American on this, but Gillingham, I believe, is one of them. Sheffield we just added, and we're playing Glasgow as well. So I'm so stoked. And Sheffield that we're playing is the Fringe at Tramlines Festival. So we're really excited about that new addition to it as well. So we've got 6 dates over there, and we're just pumped to see have a whole new experience that we've never done. And I believe it's all of our first time in the UK ever. So we're very excited.
Nice, nice. I know how hard it can be for a band to finally get to go over to the UK. How did it kind of come about for you guys?
A huge shout out to our label Pepper for that. Wake Up Music rocks. It's an incredible team, and we outsourced with KES Music as well. So they are helping us with booking it's a great team that has kind of like been built together, but Pepper's leading the ship on that. So she's an absolute incredible woman to work with, and she has never taken a band on her roster to the UK, and we're just a band that is eager for new experiences, and we're way willing to do it. So she was like, well, you're going to be my first test band to go over there. So we're excited to test the waters for her and for ourselves as well.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. You know, you've got a very busy month ahead of you. So starting at the end of the week, what does this time look like for the band? What will you guys be doing for the week? Will it be chilling out, preparing, or
I wish. We are practicing. So when it comes to fun, we are playing the music together with our new drummer to make sure that we're all super comfortable in the downtime that we've been together. We really haven't practiced. But granted, we've been on the road consistently for the last like 2+ years. So it's not that we don't know the music, but just it'll be nice to play the music that we've been preparing our behind the scenes to get on the road to play the music finally after all this time. So, but this week looks like a lot of practice. We have a lot left to build on the bus. And so for that, we still have planning to do, and we still have one more Airbnb that we have to secure for the UK dates. So we've got some of that stuff to still be planning. But yeah, for the most part, we're so stoked and ready to go on play all of these shows. And yeah, I think most of our time we'll be practicing, however. So
right, right. You know, as you mentioned, you guys are practically veterans when it comes to being on the road. What's your favorite thing about being on the road?
just the places that we get to see, especially like with this upcoming tour in the UK. Like, I don't think I would have ever. I mean, I probably would have gone on like a vacation maybe with my family over to the UK at some point, but I don't think I would be able to experience half the things that I have experienced, just even myself or like the whole group, to go out to coast of the US to Canada, and even, all four corners. Like we're going on a cruise this year as well. And that's something that's incredible that we get to look forward to, that our music brought us there. So it's very, very cool when your job enables you to see places and view things that you never would have, and especially to learn and grow just as an individual out on the road. So as a musician, we're fulfilled, but as people, we're also learning and growing and just becoming better for ourselves and for our surrounding people.
Yeah, yeah. Now, the podcast is called Concerts That Made Us. So I'm going to have to ask you some concert related questions if you don't mind.
Sounds good.
First off, as a concert goer, what concerts do you think have made you?
Ooh, concerts that made me. Hmm. That's such a good question. So obviously we've played a lot of concerts, but when it comes to just attending concerts, some of the ones that really stick out is we did a VIP experience with Cheap Trick and Bad Company when they were in Green Bay. And Red Rock Productions put on the whole event, and we were working with them on a side thing that they were doing. And so they ended up gifting us some passes to the show that we were able to go. And that was really cool just to see behind the scenes on like a band of that scale, that caliber, and how they do things in their VIP experience, and talking with some of those musicians as well from the bands. And it was a really good time. It was definitely a rock star experience for that. But one show that we played that will forever stick out in my head is we have a song called Reflection that we wrote a few years back. And it was not a song that we performed at this particular show in Michigan, but there was a person that came out, and our set is very heavily based on, if you need help, please reach out and talk to somebody and get the help that you need. If you can help yourself, even better, but don't be afraid to reach out. And that message connected really heavily with this individual, and they lost their sister to suicide. They were struggling with thoughts about it themselves, and hearing that message, they were just like, they came up and talked, and we sat off to the side, and she was crying, and I showed her our song that we just wrote. And it was a really bad recording on my phone, but she was trying to sing along to the words of that song. And that's kind of when it clicked for me that this is why I do what I do, and why the band itself needs to keep going with the same message that it has. And so that's something that really spoke to me, that really made me rethink, what I'm out here for. It's not money, it's not fame, it's not, glitz and glam. It's to be there for anybody that needs a positive message. And so that right there probably made my entire career a different outlook.
I get you. I get you. That you're right though. That is worth more than anything else in the music business. Changing people's lives and helping them. It makes it all worth it.
Absolutely. No, I can't think of anything more important than sit and just talk with somebody. And if it can help them off a ledge that they might find themselves on, or just make them rethink differently, or have a better positive outlook on something, or even if they're just going through a bad day, to kind of hit pause on that and live in the moment while they're the 45-minute set that we're playing, and, kind of make them just forget about their problems for a while. Then that means the world to us.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Jump back to when you were growing up then. How did your local music scene affect your future sound, would you say?
I would say it wasn't necessarily like for me as a vocalist that the local scene did too much, other than one band in particular, which was Frank's old band. There's a huge backstory with Frank when he joined or started this project, the Almas. He was in a different band prior to that, and that's when I met him. I was on a local TV show station to our area, and we would like bring on local bands, interview them, and promote their shows. And so I even took it one step further, and I would do full promotion on shows, and I would do interviews on my own show later on with that. But we would get together and we'd hang out. I'd go to shows, and the first show that I ever went to see his prior band, I brought my mom because I wasn't old enough to go by myself. So I was like, "Hey, mom, I need you to come with me." I think I might have been, I was in high school by this point still, but anyway, I needed my mom. And so she came and she met the band, and we were talking, and out of nowhere she offered to manage them. And so uh she offered to manage them, have them practice in our garage. I'm over here. I'm like, we should probably run this by dad. If that's okay. And so a couple months later that it ended up actually coming all together where she managed that old band of his. And so we became close, and same with the rest of the band there. And the vocalist had such a beautiful voice. It was a female fronted band as well. And I really took a liking to her sound and her style. And I wouldn't say that I sound anything like her, but I definitely loved the vibe of what her voice was on stage and what it sounded like, and how she just was so confident with her voice. It was awesome. But I would say that band definitely impacted how I view bands. Plus, being in a band with Frank now, it just continues. So I owe a lot of my music career to him and his prior band. So absolutely on that.
Right, right. And the moment we're all waiting for, I'm sure a lot of viewers and listeners will love this question. Your own shows, for people that haven't caught them, what can we expect? Give us the full experience if you can.
Well, a positive message, a fun, entertaining experience, something that you can just be in the moment and experience what we are on the stage. We want to give you our energy. We're not a band that our energy is based on the crowd. We're here to energize the crowd. And so that is our huge goal, is positivity and, an energizing, high octane live performance. We're not up there so that we can just sit and play our guitars, and I'll stay at the mic stand with my mic and look at my iPad, for the lyrics and stuff. We want to put on a full performance. And I am absolutely in awe when people compare us, that we move around so much more than even like big bands out there. And so that makes me feel really good, because I want it to be a movie moment. The 45 minutes that we're on stage, I want it to be like a cool 90s throwback movie where there's like a band playing in the background, but they're moving around all crazy and stuff. That's what I want us to be. And I think that we definitely do our best to bring that forth.
Sounded like one hell of a concert. And,
Try.
out of all the gigs that you've played, is there one that you would say is a highlight or a high point? One that couldn't have got any better?
One that couldn't have got any better. I mean, I would definitely say it would be at a specific venue that even though I would say it couldn't get better, every time we play there, it does get better, is Montgomery, Alabama, at the Warehouse 231. They became family to us, and absolutely adore everybody involved, the husband and wife that run the place, and just everybody there is incredible. But the people that come out to shows are full-on concert goers. Like, they're there to be at a concert and to hang out and have fun. And it's not a venue with a bar or anything. It's like a big warehouse, as the name states, that has a huge stage, huge lighting and sound. And the people come, and if they want to bring a beverage, then they do, but they're just there for the music. And it's an incredible experience. So the first time we were there, it was a huge attendance and it was awesome. The next time we were there, same thing. And this last time, there was just a massive amount of people in this room there rocking out with us and all of the other bands performing. And so I would say definitely our shows at the Warehouse are ones that can only top themselves. But the last time we played there, I'm excited to see if it can get topped. But it was definitely a beautiful time there.
Right. I like it. Now, to flip that around, without mentioning names, is there a gig that you would consider the worst? Everything went wrong, and how did you overcome it?
So we have a system that we like to say is pretty indestructible, unless there are certain factors, and those being like, people not willing to work with the system. So if we have to not use our system, that's when chaos is easier to come into the picture. And so there was a venue that we played, and this particular sound engineer who was running the show didn't even want to introduce himself or talk to us because he was too busy initially. And we were the only band playing that night. So it was just us for a 45-minute set. And before our set was comedians that were going to be on the stage. So we were told we weren't allowed to backline. We weren't allowed to do like anything, have our stuff in. We couldn't even set up our merchandise, which is most of our living comes from that. And so we're like, okay, well, we're not going to be the difficult band when we're the only band. And so we went with it. We hung out, we sat, we watched all the comedians. We had our stuff. We at least talked them into letting us have our stuff tucked in a corner, because they're all in cases. So they're stackable. It's all boxes that we can just put somewhere. And finally, we get to set up the stage, and he doesn't want to use any of our mics. He didn't like that we were using in-ears. He didn't like any of that. And so we told him, we're like, well, we at least mic everything up, and we just have to tail you out some channels. But he was being ridiculous. And the sound on the stage ended up being terrible because he was using basically the same mics that we had, but he was using like one mic in particular incorrectly, which is the kick drum mic. It's supposed to be inside the kick drum so that the air doesn't blast over it. Well, he had it outside of the port, so the air was blowing onto the microphone and it made it all sound weird. Since we have in-ears, we wanted him to turn the wedges off. He wanted us to hear the kick drum, which we already do in our ears, but he put it upon himself to lift the kick drum in the wedge, every single wedge on the front of the stage and the two that were by the drummer. So there's a weird bass frequency that's causing feedback on stage, and we have no control over any of this. We could tell people were miserable in the stands as well, and we're like, well, we don't have any control of this. But to make matters worse, at the very end of the night, he came to settle up with us, and I was the one that was handling the payment for the night. He came up, he handed me the money, and then he tried to kiss me. And it was out of nowhere. He was rude the entire time. It's not like anything would have provoked that kind of interaction. He just randomly was like, "Here's the money," and then went in to kiss me.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, so I was like very shocked about that whole situation. I told the guys, I'm like, you have to pack up by yourself. I'm gonna stay in the van where he's not gonna be. So
Yeah.
that was probably one of the worst shows ever. Probably. It was not even a big nice venue. It was a small bar that happened to have a small stage, and it seemed more like we were an inconvenience to everybody, and then that last interaction just kind of was the icing on the cake of
Yeah.
garbage that event was. So
Oh my God.
it was bad. It was
Needless to
bad.
say, you haven't gone back since, have you?
No, we have not played that venue, and we even reached out to the booking agent for the venue just to let them know, like, hey, this is an interaction that we had with this person, and they're like, oh yeah, no, people have said that happened before.
Right.
But then they made up some excuse for the person that they're like, well, he has like this thing going on in his life, and so we can't. It's excusable. I'm like, I don't think that's excusable. So
No.
we're like, if you're already aware there's a problem, then that just means that we just shouldn't be here. So, like, but yeah, so
Oh, man.
that was a whole experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez. And when it comes to showtime, then what's your pre-show and your post-show rituals? How do you psych yourself up? Then afterwards, how do you wind down?
So pre-show, I have to warm up. I always warm up my vocals. I never used to, like back in the day when I first started singing. But for me personally, I definitely have to take just at least a 10-minute step away from everybody, kind of zone in on myself, do my warm-ups, make sure that all of my body packs and my microphone is charged up, and all of those particular little nitpicky details for the set. Otherwise, I like to hang out over at merch. I like to interact with the crowd, with the people that are in attendance, get to know them, let them get to know me, and it's a very fun time to get personal with people. So I'll hang out over at the merch table amongst my getting ready for the show, and then afterwards, we'll do the same thing. We'll go back to the merch, and all of us will be hanging out and signing stuff, taking pictures with anybody that wants photos with us, and then the glorious packing up and loading into our trailer is a heavy ritual that we absolutely just love to do.
I can imagine you're racing to do it at the end of the night. You love it so much.
Oh, yes. I mean, sometimes we are just so we can get to bed faster, but
has to be done, so I suppose. Yeah. Now, before we dive into the last couple of questions, I normally ask future plans. We've heard a lot of future plans. Is there anything else you can share with us? New music when it's coming or anything like that?
so we have one more single that we're due to release by the end of the year. So we're looking really forward to that. I'm hoping it'll be out this fall. But that one, we're looking to compile a lot of live footage from our summer tour in the US and the UK. Our cruise that we're going on, a couple of the festival appearances that we're making this summer, and kind of putting that together as like a fun live performance music video. So that's something that's in the works right now. The song is finished. But it's the music video portion that we kind of wanted to go on uh, a much lower scale than our last music videos that we've put out, with the big production, the, crazy themes and everything. This one we wanted to be very, low key, kind of down home vibe on this one. So we're looking forward to putting that song out. But right as soon as we get out of our tour from the UK, we actually have like a day to switch over our gear and drive to Nashville because we're going to spend another 2 weeks in the studio recording more new music. So there's going to be nonstop music being released from us yet again, as well as more tours. We're going to be out on tour basically up until the beginning of November, end of October timeframe. So once the summer tour is over, we head right back out on the road in September, and then we take a little break for some family time.
A well-deserved break by the sound of it. You guys like love being busy or love putting pressure on yourselves, don't you?
I mean, I don't love the pressure, but I feel we work well under pressure. So there's a hard mix there.
Yeah. Right. The last couple of questions. These are a few random fun ones. I'm looking forward to seeing your
Okay.
answers. First off, what are you currently obsessed with? It can be anything at all.
Oh, well, cows probably. I don't know what it is. I'm obsessed with cows. Um, if it has to be something like physical, otherwise, like I love binge watching Netflix. So that's a huge thing. Mostly because I'm able to finally turn my brain off from all of the things I'm thinking about and all of the big to-do list that has to be done. So I like taking just a couple hours to like watch a like Bridgerton on Netflix or something like that. But other than that, I don't really have too many like hobbies. It's just a lot of like we make our own jewelry for our merchandise, so like keychains and earrings. Like doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, some like beaded bracelets I'll make as well. But yeah, I like doing that kind of stuff, but most of my life is very band related. I'm also our booking agent, so for like our US stuff. So I'm very preoccupied on that kind of stuff a lot. So
Oh my God. And the next one, if you had to spend 24 hours locked in a room with any musician from history, who would it be?
Taylor Swift.
Right.
If it has to be alive, if they have to be alive, Taylor Swift. If they don't have to be alive, I would probably say Freddie Mercury from Queen. I would love to just have a conversation with that man. Yeah, I'm obsessed with Queen. So Freddie Mercury for sure would be my non-currently living person I would choose.
It's obvious what you would love to learn from Freddie. He was the ultimate frontman. What would you like to learn from Taylor?
She is the ultimate businesswoman. And even just with her latest Eras tour that she's been on for like over a year now, she has helped a lot of places like just with their own economy and everything else. She is like, and she is a being. And so I would just love to pick her brain on business and songwriting and like how do you have a song that is so catchy and then you have like 30 of them on one album. So like that kind of stuff. And I always joke we're in a hard rock band, but I love Taylor Swift. So
Right.
I do. I love it. I love her so much that I've even gotten Frank involved with Taylor Swift. So he only likes the Reputation album and like a handful of the new songs from her latest one. But yeah, so I'm working on it though. He's
Okay.
coming around.
You'll have to keep us posted. And the final one. What's your go-to album? What's an album you constantly revisit?
Oh, constantly revisit. So that will be a Taylor Swift album. Right now, it's her latest one. But one album I have to revisit all the time is her debut album. It's when she was country, but that was one of the really forming albums for me when I was growing up. was her earlier stuff, and that's where I would always sing it in the shower and everything else. So it kind of brings me back to the old days, but also makes me look at like how far I've come and how far I can still grow. So that's always something that's super inspirational.
Right, brilliant. I like it. I like it. Listen, Crystal, thanks a million. This has been an absolute blast now.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
I quit the world today. No need to feed the pain, 'cause it's what's trending right now. Don't need the sympathy, digital therapy. One final post, then I'm out. Don't mean to make a scene, not much for apathy. Don't take it personally, sorry but not sorry. Not here to talk about all the times I've been let down. No one's gonna miss pain. Don't care to fight about how you like to watch me drown, just so you can steal my crown. No you can't, no you can't, no you can't steal my crown. No you can't, no you can't, no you can't steal my crown. Prepare the symphony, type out a eulogy, commemorate this account. Don't mean to make a scene, not much for apathy. Don't take it personally, sorry but not sorry. Not here to talk about all the times I've been let down. No one's gonna miss pain. Don't care to fight about how you like to watch me drown, just so you can steal my crown. I quit the world today, type out a eulogy, 'cause it's what's trending right now, 'cause it's what's trending right now. I quit the world today, type out a eulogy, 'cause it's what's trending right now, 'cause it's what's trending right now. I quit the world today, type out a eulogy, 'cause it's what's trending right now. One final post, then I'm out. Not here to talk about all the times I've been let down. No one's gonna miss pain. Don't care to fight about how you like to watch me drown, just so you can steal my crown. No you can't, no you can't, no you can't steal my crown. No you can't, no you can't, no you can't steal my crown.
Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. And if you're interested in signing up to Band Builder Academy, use the link in the show notes below and enter the code CONCERTS and you'll receive 10% off. So, until next time, keep rocking.
Hey, what are you guys still doing here? The show's over. It's over. You can go home. Go on. We'll see you next time. We'll be here. Bye.